My name is Matthew Marx, and I'm a graduate student in educational studies. I was asked to talk about my experiences as a student taking an online course, what I liked and didn't like about aspects of the course, particularly in the feeling of not always knowing what you should be doing and when you should be doing it. So navigating the course. I thought the pieces that worked best in my experience, and I've taken more than one of these courses at OSU, was when things were organized in a chronological manner more than anything else, having whether it's a weekly unit or a unit that covers every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. That I always found very useful because I knew I could kind of figure out where I was at that moment. I know a lot of times there are efforts by instructors to overlap instructions in different places with the idea of feeling that the student will be able to find the information they need because it's on there in multiple channels or multiple places. And sometimes if that's not organized clearly enough, it is overwhelming to a student who first comes in and looks and sees, okay, there's all these different things here. Which one am I supposed to follow? So it's almost the idea of a unified message that is probably the most important thing. The student knows that there's one place to go. If you want to think of it as, I hate to use a religious term, think of it as the Bible. Okay, we want to go to that one spot, okay, where we know exactly what we need to be doing. I think that makes a big difference, and it helps to give you an idea. Part of this involves at times making sure you yourself can stay involved in the course, particularly over a long semester. And so one question I was asked is what I would do to manage myself to stay involved with an online course. There is a feeling that when you walk into a classroom physically and you're showing up for class, that there's that action that's going to create some incentives to keep up with things. Okay, you don't want to show up to class without having read the material, completed journal assignments or whatever the case may be. That may not necessarily occur in an online course. What I found that was often helpful with that was making sure I connected with classmates, whether we were working on a project or whether we were, just happened to get in on a discussion group, something where I made a personal connection with someone. So I could always say to someone, hey, what are you working on right now? What are we supposed to have done? Did you do it? Or how did you do it? Which I think is often a big deal. So I think that element, making sure there's some level of community there. I have to admit I'm a little biased. I think that's an important part of learning anyway, period. So I suppose that's one of the biggest things that I would say to any instructor who was putting together a course is make sure that there is a feeling of community in the course, that there's got to be some activities where students are going to interact with each other so that they have an idea of expectations and can share their own expectations. In the past, I've seen a lot of discussion boards that instructors put up, whether it's something like a frequently asked questions or, hey, if you have a problem, this is a good place to post it. And I certainly have found that useful in the past. I haven't always looked at it till week 12, week 9, whatever the case may be. But when I got there, I saw that other people had talked about it and discussed it, and you could see it documented. So it was very useful to see a question that someone else took the trouble to ask, and the instructor went ahead and answered it.